Good evening, everyone. This is Dana from NexGen, and I hope everyone has had a wonderful week. As many of you know, we purchased our second property this past September, and see the link above for that. Now, this is our first rental. And from our previous video, you know that rental income as well as capital gains are examples of streams of income. So as we expand our businesses, we thought it would be in our best interest to hire a property management firm. Whether you're an investor, a renter, or just curious about real estate, you may have heard about property management firms and property managers. This evening, I'm going to discuss property management as it pertains to a residential property and share with you what I've learned. I will tell you, it is more than just collecting rent. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, we will do a live interview with a property manager. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss this informative interview. Now, a property manager is an individual or an entity. It could be a business and is hired by a property owner to oversee and manage the daily workings of the owner's real estate investment. Now, property manager responsibilities include setting and collecting rent, handling maintenance requests, filling vacant units, and potentially setting a budget for the property. Now, property managers often take care of the property where the real estate investor may not live near the property, or they just want to have a more passive role. And as I said, the property manager can be a person or it can be an entire management company. And that pretty much depends on the needs of the owner. So NexGen, we decided on a management firm because we intend to purchase additional properties and businesses in the area. So the main purpose of us hiring a property management company is to protect our real estate investment and, of course, get passive income. We wanted a local professional to handle the properties. So although the property management company works for us, they also serve our renters. So I want to go over a few common responsibilities that are things that the property managers or the property management company would be doing. So when we're going to look at our property management companies, one of the taskings are that if as an investor you have multiple properties over several different states or areas, it can be difficult to keep track of the different landlord-tenant laws and regulation. So the property manager is there to help you avoid any potential legal headaches by taking care of these regulations for you. So because the property management company is in that area, they are going to be up on the ever-changing laws and regulations. For example, there may be some states that have a specific requirement on how much a tenant can be charged for a security deposit. And also what can happen if you don't pay the deposit back after the tenant leaves after a period of time. And I know that I talked about it before, and I will leave a link above when we talk about renters and making sure that you get your rent, your deposit back in a timely manner if you complied with the terms of the contract. So the property manager is or should be equipped to handle the changing laws and regulation. Also, the property management acts as a local presence for the owner that may be out of town or out of state. So let's say that the owner lives in Texas. Well, they may be unfamiliar or unable to take care of areas like, for example, South Carolina, California, or New York. So the property manager that we selected is taking care of any issues that come up with that property. For example, there may be a maintenance issue, there may be a pest control issue, a security issue. That property manager will act as the local presence for that out of town owner. And as a renter, I think that would be important because you don't want to have to chase down the owner to get something done when you actually have a property manager that you can address any issues that you may have. And speaking of that, the handling of maintenance requests are also important. As I talked about before, they would handle things like broken appliances, unwanted pests, even wildlife in a tenant's home. And so that on-site presence is also beneficial to that out-of-town owner. And what's really good about the property manager, if you select one that is good, they also have a cadre of businesses that they can subcontract out to. And what's really good is the one that we selected, their workers are bonded and insured. So that's very important when going into a tenant's home or in a business. We want to make sure that the landlord as well as the tenants are protected. So handling maintenance requests is very important. Now, before you even get to that, if you have multiple properties, the property manager can actually show and lease vacant units because they, just like a real estate agent, they have a way to advertise a property that is available for rent. And so they would be the ones that would be screening and meeting potential renters so that the property owner does not have to do that. Because let's say they have property in multiple states. That's one less thing that the property owner has to worry about. Also, they would take care of any situations on how to attract the type of renter that the owner would want. For example, the property manager that we selected, in the homes that we have, it's a non-smoking home. And we do allow for pets. But those are things that we would discuss with the property manager. And then, of course, we have the collecting of rents and deposits. Now, what's really nice about this property manager is that they have a portal to where people that are paying their rent can pay on site or using a payment app so that the payments can go through quickly. So that's the convenience for the renter as well as the property owner. And then what's also good is if there's any challenges, whether there be delinquent payments, collections, or unfortunately sometimes maybe evictions, then the property manager would be the person that would handle all of that. And of course, these things happen, but this is the one thing that the owner should not have to worry about. And the last thing, last but not least, is also beneficial for the owner's insurance, especially if the property manager is going to be screening the potential renters. So it also helps on your property insurance. So now that I've gone through some of the duties of the property manager, you may be saying, well, Dana, how much does it cost? Well, let's talk about that. Now, if you get a property management company or a property manager pretty much worth their salt, you're going to be signing an agreement, and usually it's going to be a percentage of the monthly rental income, and it's usually between 6 to 12%. So if you're looking for a property manager, you can negotiate the rates because some of them offer a military discount, but you're looking at between 6 to 12% of the monthly rent. So that's usually the management fee, and some will charge a flat fee or some may charge a percentage like I was talking about. And it varies and dependent upon the company, the location, or the individual property manager. Of course, all of this should be in writing. Then you have what they call a maintenance fee, and that's usually it's going to cover the cost of having someone come out to provide maintenance on the property. And you may see, and of course, all this will be in writing, there may be a fee on top of what it costs to have that company go out. Now, sometimes I think the one that we have, I think it's 10%. So, of course, all of this will be in writing. Then you have the leasing fee, and that's usually charged for a new tenant placement fee. So I think it's called a new tenant placement fee. And it pretty much covers the cost of marketing, managing the application, the move-in costs. So it could either be a flat fee or again, it could be a percentage. Then we have the lease renewal fee. So that is also a fee that could either be a flat rate or a percentage. So some property managers skip this fee, but make sure that you look through your agreement with the property manager that you want to work with to find out all the different fees that could come with them doing work for you. And as I said before, they do work for you, but you also want to have someone that is responsive to the people that you're going to be renting the property to. So with that, looking at what the fees can be, let's take a look at some pros and cons. So I always want to end on a positive note. So I will start with the cons. So because of these, I guess you want to call them cons, you want to make sure that you are comfortable with the property manager or the property management company that you select to work with. And the reason that is because you're pretty much relinquishing control of your property to that manager. And some people are kind of uncomfortable with that, especially if you lived in the home before you decided to rent it out and you're using a property manager to do this for you. So if you are interested in passive income and you want to be a hands-on person, that is something that you want to take into consideration before you hire a property manager. And of course, working with a property manager isn't free. They're going to be charging you multiple fees in exchange for what they do. So it's incumbent upon you, in my strong recommendation, that you select a property manager that you can work with that works with your budget. And the last thing is the screening process. Some property managers are not as strict as you may be when screening potential tenants. So you want to take a look at the process that the property manager has when doing the screening process. You want to find all of this information up front before you hire them. So those are just a few things that I noted when I was looking for a property manager. And again, make sure that you hit the notification bell on this channel, because we want to make sure that we can get a property manager on our live so that we can ask them questions. Again, this is not only for a landlord or a property owner, but this also would be something that a renter may want to know. So let's go ahead and go to the pros. Okay, as I said before, when you're hiring a property manager, it's really good if you have multiple properties. And if you have them all over the country or all over the state, it's good to hire a property manager that you can work with, because you want to keep your tenants happy and you want to keep the income coming in. And so we have property managers that have a setup to where they're attentive to the tenants as well as being attentive to you, so that anything that's difficult to do would be handled by the property manager, especially in the area of late payments and evictions. And of course, it allows you to invest in other properties where you don't have to physically be there. For example, as I said before, if you live in Texas and you're interested in purchasing properties or renting properties in a different state, it allows you to do that and not have to worry about managing the property remotely. So you're pretty much going to be managing the management company, not necessarily the property itself. And then last but not least, the most important thing for me is that I don't have to do the repairs myself. I don't have to keep a team of contractors that would be able to take care of the property for me or for the team. So these are relationships that the property manager would have with the different trades, if you will, whether it be a plumber, electrician, or pest control, or anything like that. That's something that the property manager would take care of. So I think that selecting a property manager for our new acquisition is something that I think would benefit us tremendously. Now, this is not the first time I've used a property manager, but it had been so long ago, and it was in a state where we used to live. So it was a home that we lived in. And the good news is that the rental was purchased by the person renting the property. So eventually the renter became the new owner. So again, you want to make sure that you select the property manager that you're comfortable with, because that is pretty much a person that's going to be a part of your team. And you want to know that you can rely on them to manage your investment. So I hope this information was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, please make sure that you put them down in the comments section. And I will talk to you soon, and have a great weekend.